If you're a game developer, you don't want to actually have to play your game. Oh, but I really hope it's intentional, and I really hope that no. Like, no, that junk is bugged, guys. Like, there is absolutely no way you can justify that. What pissed me off was that guy, he was downed. I'm like, but your spawn is up here. Damn, girl, like, damn.
It seems that Hula has complimented
she kinda, the whole time. I really didn't even need her because I was already gonna be like, I was already gonna, like, you know what I'm saying? I was already gonna crit it, like, I was already gonna crit on him. So, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, you're losing damn near 13% of your health every time you reload. And if you're dealing with mobs that can actually shoot at you, then I'm trying to actively take more damage though in this wave, because I'm actually trying to get in there. Yeah. Y'all listen to this.
Looks like a bad storm is in the forecast. I need to pull you out before it gets there. You have 2 days. Good luck.
Alright, what's up everybody? Welcome back to another video on the channel. And today, I'm going to be showing you guys how to actually use the 6 perk on the black metal weapons. Now, I'm actually finding out that this loadout, or mainly this 6 perk, has been blowing up. And a lot of people are using it now. I just feel like people are kind of misplacing their buffs to actually buff it, because this loadout or this 6 perk is actually a niche. And if you don't know what I'm talking about, let's just go ahead and get straight into it. It's got something to do with these little guys right here. A few of these guys have this interesting 6 perk where if you reload or you kill a certain amount of husks, it'll reduce your health, and in turn it'll deal 29 to 132 base damage depending on how much health you actually have. So the lower your health is, the more damage it'll do. Now, we already have some heroes that do an excessive amount of base damage that's actually comparable to this with their standard perks and stuff like that. But these weapons specifically, because it's such a niche with how you can actually activate them, the amount of damage you can do as well, and how you actually buff this damage, because believe it or not, you can actually buff it. This makes it to where even if a standard perk will have something that's similar to this base damage, these weapons will blow it out of the water, and it'll do some things that you really wouldn't expect this weapon to do. Now, I'm gonna just go ahead and give y'all a disclaimer before we get into it. I am 1000% sure that these weapons will probably get nerfed eventually. I don't know when, and I don't know how, but they will get nerfed. Although, before Epic chooses to do this, I definitely recommend they look at these videos that we are making and consider what's actually happening here when you use this 6 perk. So let me show y'all the weapon that I'm using first and explain it, and then I'll show you guys the loadouts based off of that. So the 3 weapons that people are mainly using, although there's actually 4, you can use the sniper as well, is the Durasong, the Blackout, and the Black Drum. Now, a lot of people have been using the Black Drum recently, and that's cool. That's fine. That's okay.
No, that's cool. It's okay. That's
Drake
okay.
number 3.
I'm actually going to be using the Blackout AR in this video because I think that out of all of them, this makes the most sense. But out of all of them, the Black Drum is probably the main reason why these weapons are probably going to get nerfed. That one out of all of them is actually bugged because every pellet can count for the explosion. So that's why we're not using it today. But let me go ahead and explain the perks that I have on the Blackout. So let's talk about this Sunbeam Blackout AR. Yes. So this 6 perk, now there's a bunch of different ones. There's Eliminating 3, there's Stunning and Knockback, and there's this normal one that everybody, like, you know what I'm saying, just weapons just naturally have. Like, we don't even need to look at this one. But the main ones we're going to be looking at is the ones that give you damage based off of your health being reduced. But the one we're looking at the most is the reloading one, because out of all of the other ones, this one is the most consistent, meaning all I have to do is just reload to reduce my health, and the lower my health gets, the higher damage I'll get from this. And because of that, we have our weapon pretty much spec towards reload speed. Now these are the perks that I'm using, but I think you can actually make something shake with this. You can actually get 2 reload perks on this weapon, and if you do, your reload speed will be so fast. That is if you're not using Chaos Agent or some type of weird loadout, because there are some weird loadouts you can use where you won't even need a reload speed perk. You can just put on just all damage or whatever, or even damage to missed monsters and bosses. You can make something shake with this, but for now I have this perk on. I think it makes the most sense with this build. You're already losing about 13% HP every time you reload, and even with just 1 reload perk, I feel like I reload super fast even without Chaos Agent and all those gimmicky loadouts that you can use with this. Now some of the other perks that I'm gonna go ahead and tell you guys that you shouldn't put on. You shouldn't put on crit rating. You're not gonna need it based off of the loadout that we're gonna use. Your element can be physical and fire. I recommend actually having 2 copies, because you can use one of them for a mini boss, which is the physical copy, and you can use the fire one for what we're dealing with this season, because this season we're dealing with nature husk, so it's just profitable for the business for you to just use fire. Reload speed, of course, and crit damage. Now you can actually do 2 crit damages and then put on reload speed down here, but I don't think you'll need it, because your crit damage actually will not affect the boom really, or if it does, it won't do by that much. It won't do as much as you think it would. The way that this thing is buffed is so strange. Let's just go ahead and get into the build, because I can explain it there. So pretty much here's everybody that I got in my loadout. Now I have 2 loadouts that I think you can use. I really don't think you can do too much else with this loadout without having to what I would say is diminishing returns. The first loadout is Varsity Hero in the lead with Totally Rocking Out, and then you got Sub Wafers, Battle Beat, Swamp Knight. Yes, we do have Swamp Knight in this build. Then I got Sledgehammer and First Shot Rio. Now Varsity is the best hero for this 6 perk by far. The main reason is because this 6 perk has an issue with it where it's not buffed mainly by your weapon damage or your crit damage or anything like that, although that base damage actually has a chance to crit. One of the main ways that the explosion actually gets buffed is by hero ability damage, and I talked about this in my last video, how that this 6 perk actually benefits from the fact that your hero and the heroes in your loadout as well, if their ability damage is high, it'll contribute to the explosion doing more damage. Now that may be true, but I think that there is some type of diminishing returns in it, meaning if I have a bunch of heroes that are in here that has high hero ability damage but they don't buff the weapon itself, you're still going to be losing damage somewhere. So I think that the best way you can make this work is to have a mix of both, where you have perks that buff the weapon damage and you'll have heroes that have a high hero ability damage. That's the best way to get the most out of this weapon. Now here's why hero is the best though. Now obviously you want your health to be low, because according to the 6 perk, the lower our health is, the more damage we'll do, but you still want this healing factor in it, and especially since we got Totally Rocking Out with Varsity Hero, every time we kill something, we pick up a football, we can heal. That helps us keep our health a little bit more manageable, and you're definitely going to need that, because after him there's no more heal ability in this build besides Sub Wafers, but you're not really using Sub Wafers like that. We're mainly just trying to get the team perk off, and these were the only 2 heroes that would allow us to get Totally Rocking Out. Now Totally Rocking Out healing is not even that good anyway on paper. The healing can be a whole lot better depending on if you're soloing or if you have less teammates, and your rocking riff gets activated a lot more if you're playing solo, based off of how many traps you have, etc., or how many kills you're actually getting and how many footballs you're actually picking up. So you just have to be careful about that, because that can turn into a downside, and I think you're going to see a little bit of that in this video. But not only does hero give us healing, he also has very high hero ability damage. He actually has some of the highest, if not the highest in the game, because it's comparable to other heroes that also have this hero ability damage. And you'll also benefit if you have any of your heroes supercharged in your loadout, especially hero if you put him in lead and you supercharge him. Now like I said, we got Totally Rocking Out as our team perk. This is mainly for the healing and also for the crit rating. Although this can be something that you can replace, and I'll show that in the next build. Now Subwoofers is really just here to activate the team perk. Battle Beat, of course, because she's in every loadout, but let me tell you guys something special about Rockin' Rift. Rockin' Rift increases damage, and I mean just damage, meaning traps, abilities, weapons, etc, etc. And because of that, it will also increase our explosion damage with the 6 perk. And something else that's interesting about Rockin' Rift, it actually also increases base damage. I mean, like, if you got Thunder Thora in your support or in the lead and Husk walk over your base, if you have Rockin' Rift active, it'll actually do more damage as well. I tested it and it actually works. And when I saw it, I was like, dang, girl. Frappe is literally like, she's probably the best hero in the game. I'm not even gonna lie to y'all. Like, besides Base Kyle, if it isn't Base Kyle, it's definitely her. And not to mention, she has very high hero ability damage. Like, she I ain't gonna lie, damn, girl, like, damn.
It seems that Hulu has complimented me.
Swamp Knight, now this guy is very interesting. Now he also increases damage, just damage, so that's kind of why I also don't have that perk on my weapon as well, because we got Swamp Knight in here. Like, we really don't even need that jump for real, no cap. Assault crit damage, because you kind of just need them to help with your weapon damage. And like I said, you kind of do want to have some type of weapon buffs for the explosives as well, and he helps. First shot Rio, because she actually makes it to where our first 2 shots will guarantee to crit. Now she's gonna come more in handy in our second build, because we're totally rocking out, we're pretty much going to be critting every time. And you're going to see in the build, because I actually used this build in the video, I really didn't even need her, because I was already going to be like, I was already going to like, you know what I'm saying, I was already going to crit it. Like, I was
where is my destination?
Get out of my car!
Like, and not to mention, because we're using the Blackout AR, the Blackout AR only shoots twice anyway in bursts. It shoots in bursts and it only shoots 2 bullets. So we know for sure that the first 2 bullets that's coming out of our gun is going to crit, which is absolutely insane. Now gadgets, I do need to talk about gadgets for a minute. Now unfortunately, if you're playing solo, you absolutely need Adrenaline Rush, because you're most likely going to be using defenders, and if you are using defenders, you're going to need to heal them in case they down and you can't stop to res them. With this loadout, you are a glass cannon, like, to a T. That, like, you are literally the definition of a glass cannon. You're losing damn near 13% of your health every time you reload. Like, if they can actually shoot at you, then you're gonna be losing way more health than you think you are in banner, because if you're actually defending an objective, you're most likely going to die. And as such, I think you definitely need this, so that way if you die, you can at least spawn back to where the objective is and you don't lose too much time. Now there's only one other hero and one other team perk I think you can use to replace Varsity in the lead and totally rocking out as the team perk, and that's actually Eternal Wanderer and Preemptive Strike. Now Eternal Wanderer sounds insane. It sounds like it just came out of left field, but no. Now if you look at her hero ability damage, it's actually comparable. It's actually the same to Varsity Hero, so you're not really losing out on damage. And not to mention, she causes affliction in her commander perk whenever you run around an enemy, so that can actually help you deal even more damage with the explosives. And technically with this hero, you can even survive a little bit longer just because you can run a little bit longer. I think that out of every other hero that's in this game, she's the only other person that you can use, in my opinion, to replace Varsity Hero. And then for the team perk, we have Preemptive Strike. This makes so much more sense if you're not going to use solely rocking out, because you're going to be doing the most damage on a full health target anyway with the explosive. So as soon as you shoot, reload, and then shoot to get the explosive, they're probably going to be full HP. You could do all this damage up front. It will actually buff the explosives as well, because it's just damage with Preemptive Strike as well. So it's just a W. And literally everybody in the loadout is the same. It's just that Varsity Hero is inside instead of in the lead. And of course, like I said, the gadgets are still the same. You actually can't replace any of these heroes that I have in these loadouts to suit your playstyle. The stuff that I have in these loadouts actually makes sense according to what the 6 perk actually does, and it buffs them. Anyways, make sure you guys like, share, subscribe, comment what y'all want to see next. I'm probably going to do that Teddy build that I said I was going to do. I keep saying that I'm going to do it, but then I always think about something else to record. Like, anyways, let's go ahead and get into the mission.
Lars is standing by to gather storm intel, Commander. Let's launch that van.
Fill her up if you'd be so kind. I need to get back up in those clouds.
We're headed your way. Make sure to collect any blue glow you see.
Okay, so I did take your advice and I turned the hood on for you guys. You know who you are. I appreciate the feedback. So now I got the HUD and stuff on. Now on this one, I don't think I have a reticle. I don't think I turned the reticle. Oh, I actually do. I thought I... Wait, I don't. No. I don't have one. It does come on later on in the video though. But look though. So Epic, listen here, okay? From the gameplay that you're seeing, it is extremely hyperbolic because from what you're finna see, I'm gonna solo this mission and I'm showing up the modifiers now. They're not that bad, but they're not bad at all actually. But I'm finna solo this mission and it brings out the best and the worst of this build. And I've got like some other gameplay. I might have it in here. But essentially what you're looking at is every time I shoot and reload, I'm losing about 13% of my HP. It's like 12.5 to be specific, but I'm losing HP every time I reload. But look, I'm reloading after every time I do one burst, I'm reloading. I'm losing a lot of health. But with totally rocking out, I'm healing it back, which can be okay, but at the same time it also can be a downside to the build because I'm gaining a lot of health from these kills. But at the same time, I think that the next build that I have mitigates this effect to an extreme degree, to the point where you're and look at this bothered me. I wasn't trying to get on no animal. I didn't want no animal. I'm trying to kill this damn smasher. And as you can see, it took me 3 bursts to even kill him because my health was, oh my, I ain't gonna, y'all, that pissed me off. That pissed me off so bad. I was not trying to get on no damn animal. But look, it took me 3 bursts to kill him. And that's because we don't have an anti-smasher weapon. Even with these black metal weapons, they're not gonna, they don't slam as hard as you think they do. And look how low my health got. If you're dealing with ranged enemies, they can drop you off pretty, like pretty quickly. Like you'll die very quickly. And that's what I'm getting at, Epic, that even with this build being very strong, it doesn't one-tap smashers for one, without you having a dead loadout for one, if you're gonna try to one-tap smashers. But for two, you lose so much health that I think that it balances out. It's a glass cannon build. So I think if you're Epic and you see this loadout and you think it's actually so strong, like if you think it's too strong, I say try the loadout for yourselves. Now, obviously, if you're a game developer, you don't want to actually have to play your game. And that sounds crazy. That sounds counterintuitive. That sounds stupid. But I've criticized game developers for not playing their game. Yet at the same time, I gotta be understanding that playing your game while also trying to fix the game is super time consuming. It just is. And there's no way you would have enough time to be able to do this, because not only would you have to level up to get to where we are, because you can't just manufacture a scenario where you're a max game player, you've been playing for a while, you might understand the mechanics of the game because you're the one who's been developing the game, but it's still not the same because you manufactured a in-game account and then started trying to, you know what I'm saying? It doesn't make any sense. But all I'm saying is, at least before y'all nerf it, look at the gameplay that that the players are making and consider, because with these loadouts that are trying to even take advantage of it, we don't even know how the formula works really. We just know that ability damage and crit chance and actual damage perks work with it. That's about it. We don't even understand the formula like that. So just consider. I can't say, and I'm talking to the players now, I can't say that they're actually gonna nerf it, because it to me there are like really genuine downsides to this build that I feel like make it viable for the end game. But it's just up to y'all. What do y'all think that they're gonna do in the comment section? Personally, I still think that they're gonna nerf it, because the pot shot to me was the exact same way. The pot shot was something that I didn't think needed to be nerfed, because it still had its downsides to it. You had to spec it a specific way, and even if you didn't, it would rarely ever, if any, would one tap smashers. It barely did that. So y'all just gonna have to let me know what y'all think in the comment section. And I am showing you guys how I'm building. I just thought that would be profitable for you guys to see what's in my thought process. It, like right here, I don't think I noticed it yet, but I didn't want these tiles like at this stage to be 3 tiles high. I didn't want drop traps here. I did want drop traps around the van, but not here where the trap tunnels are. Maybe at the beginning, but right here I noticed it, and I think I'm gonna fix it. I don't want it to be 3 tiles. And actually, I think I add to it. But I was already thinking like, damn, this is 3 tiles high. I don't want it to be like that. And then I just cut to where I pretty much finished the build, because it took me a long time to actually start. So yeah, here we go. This is the first defense, and it's always a smasher wave. So yeah, I'm gonna just let the build speak for itself, right? And as you can see, I know I was going to let the build speak for itself, but as you can see, this is one of the downsides of the build, this build specifically, is the fact that we're totally rocking out. And the fact that you're soloing, you have to place all your traps, meaning that if I get too many kills, I'm going to be healing too much with totally rocking out, which is surprisingly, because on paper, totally rocking out does not have good healing. It doesn't. So, but my health is too high to take advantage of the damage that I would have with lower health. So I'm not actually getting as much damage as I would if my health was actually low. With the next build, and I showcased a little bit of it in the gameplay section, like when I was talking about it in the intro, but I never did the build again. Like I never showed the preemptive strike build, because I thought that this build was more interesting. And I technically think that this build is still better. You just have to use it in a team setting, because with totally rocking out, if you're playing solo, the build is too, you're killing too much. I'm killing too many husks, surprisingly. So I'm getting too much health back with totally rocking out, and that's what makes this build kind of bad when I'm playing solo. And I wasn't thinking about it. I was just like, let's just see how it performs in a 160. And it ended up being pretty bad.
blue glow. Add blue glow and get ready to defend the van. Flip the switch when you're ready.
Guys, I have a question. With these defenders, because one of them has the obliterator, one of them has a vacuum tube bow, and this guy had y'all seen the weapon, the vacuum tube rifle. Not the rifle, but the vacuum tube sniper. Sorry. I don't see the 6 perk activating on them when they shoot. So do they not work with defenders? And what pissed me off was that guy, he was downed. I'm like, but nigga, your spawn is up here. Why are you even down there? That shit pissed me off so bad. Cause I'm like, you're literally dying for no reason. So I had to, I was like, I'm not even gonna revive this nigga. I'm just finna go ahead and put another one. And then right here, I was expecting to get flingers and stuff. So I was trying to put like wall darts and stuff like that up here, and also have this defender shoot at them when they spawn up here. But here's the problem, and I said this in my last video, we don't have traps that can actively deal with flingers. And unfortunately, my wall darts also, they're not spec'd properly. I would need alternating wall darts to make this work, because as soon as one of them spawns up here, all of my wall darts are going to shoot at them, and they're all going to be on cooldown, which is not good. So I need to make another copy of my wall darts with a different reload speed. That way I can alternate, because right here, they're all just going to fire at once, and that's going to be a problem. And what I also noticed, and this is just me trapping specifically, what I'm learning about myself is the fact that I do not use wall dynamos. And I could really benefit from using wall dynamos because I use low walls all the time. But I don't have them. I don't have them because for the longest time I don't use them. And I've been getting away with it, but I think I can definitely use wall dynamos. I don't know why I don't have them in my kit. Like, as I trap often. I trap often. So I just don't understand why I don't have them in my kit. So yeah, but like I was saying, bro, we don't really have traps that can deal with flingers at all, because these anti-airs don't deal with flingers. Y'all listen to this.
Looks like a bad storm is in the forecast. I need to pull you out before it gets there. You have 2 days. Good luck.
Have y'all ever heard her say that? Like, that's my first time ever hearing her say something like that. And I ain't gonna lie, that kind of scared me, cause like, damn, I'm really taking that long. Like, I really did take that long though. Y'all don't know how much footage I actually cut from this. It took me a long time to start this, and then it just ended up being another smasher wave, which is kind of upsetting. But at the same time, I think if I would have got a flinger wave, and I keep saying this, I just think that these flinger waves are like, they're very, very difficult. Like, they're very difficult. I'm not gonna lie. But I was expecting to see how this weapon was going to perform with them. I think I would have lost a lot more health with that one. But let me just go ahead and address the elephant in the room. Why I didn't use the black drum in this video and why I'm not showcasing that one instead. Because I'm pretty sure you guys already know that that weapon and whatever loadout you can make with that is probably going to be stronger than what I'm showing y'all. And of course, because that one, compared to the Blackout, is actually bugged. Like, compared to the Duracell and the Blackout, and even the sniper, it's actually bugged. Because every pellet can actively explode on the target, which will actually allow you to one-tap smashers. But the reason I'm not showing it is because I think out of all of the weapons, these two and well, the sniper as well, they're probably not going to get nerfed compared to the shotgun. And because of that, I feel like this is a lot more natural. This makes a lot more sense. This is a lot more basic for what you would want to use if you're going to do something like this. Because there's like actual trade-offs to the loadout that I'm using compared to if I was just using a black drum, where I can literally just use a damn constructor and be fine with it. Like no. Like, me and you both know that that weapon is actually bugged. And I know a lot of people were like, oh, but I really hope it's intentional. And I really hope that, no. Like, no. That junk is bugged, guys. Like, there is absolutely no way you can justify that. Like, right now, because I didn't include this in my... Well, I don't include it when I'm talking about this, but we don't have any anti-smasher weapons in the game, and I think that that's how it's supposed to be. Although I do think we need something for flingers, we don't really need anything for smashers. Smashers are supposed to be the hardest things in the game, right? They give you a challenge, but when you're using that shotgun with this loadout and like these 6 perks, because all you're really doing, because you could literally use my loadout as like a template and just replace the AR heroes with the shotgun heroes, and you still be going absolutely insane. And then if you're going solo with the heal ability, you would never die. Like, of course you could do that, but I'm just not. I didn't want to put that in the video. I just didn't think it would be. I don't think it would even be fun, really. Like with this one, I'm still look at him. He in it bit. I can't even. Like, probably with the drum, I'd probably be able to. He'd probably be gone in a couple of shots, but with this one, I'm taking a chunk off of him, but I'm not actually. It's not out of the realms of being balanced. That's all I'm saying, y'all. That's all I'm saying. I'm not against you guys having fun. I'm never against you guys having fun. And on the off chance, if y'all want me to showcase the shotgun instead, I could do that as well. And I think some people don't know about the 6 perk specifically still. Not that it doesn't exist, but they don't know how to actually get to it. I'm like, baby girl, it's called core perk. Like, if you get a drum that ain't got it, or one of the ARs and SMGs that ain't got it, just record your stuff, right? But anyways, that's pretty much the end of this video. Yeah, I think I'm gonna just let the rest of it play out. Y'all boys already know the deal.